Hello YouTube, today I'm gonna be explaining how competitive Apex Legends works and I'm gonna be covering all of it in this video. So I hope you learned something and let's begin. Now first of all, this is the point system in basically all of the tournament scrims and alias and everything. So you get 12 points for winning and then you get the other placements here and you get 1 point per kill. Also, after every game there will be one legend banned, and that legend is just the character that was played the most during that game. And the legend will be continued to be banned throughout every game, so towards the end there will be a total of like 5 legends banned, or even more if you're playing with alias thresholds. But now, how do you win in these tournaments? In alias they have a 50 point threshold, meaning that the first team that gets past 50 points with the point system that I showed you, and then win, they will win the entire tournament. So you first need to get 50 points and then get win. Otherwise, like, you can be on how many points as you want, but if you're not winning a game, then you're not gonna win the tournament. But if you're maybe playing scrims or tournaments, all scrims have that it's either 4 or 6 games, and then it's just the points after that. And tournaments, they can have the alias system, or they just have like 6 games. It can depend a bit, but most often it's probably gonna be a point threshold, like alias. This kind of system leads to more of a safe playstyle for most teams, since you aren't rewarded like that much for killing people. But it's also different because in ranked, it's quite easy to just run the lobby down because most of the people are worse than you. But when you are fighting like the best players in the world, most people will instead try and play for the zone instead and win that way. Because it's frankly like really hard trying to kill every single team. But there are still teams that try and do it. And these teams are called edge teams, meaning that instead of going to zone, they rotate around, picking up as much Evo harvesters as possible, and then they're looking to fight people on their way into zone. But nowadays most teams play zone, which is the opposite, and that's just that you rotate for zone. Now of course, this does vary a bit because the zone can pull wherever it wants to. Like, if the zone pulls on you, then you're probably gonna be forced to play zone. But if it pulls like on the other side of the map, then you're maybe gonna be forced to play more edge. But some teams will like prioritize playing zone or prioritize playing edge, and they will therefore adapt their team comp towards that playstyle. Now the pros and cons of these two styles are that if you're playing zone, then you will have a really good position and you will probably be able to get kills that way and potentially win the game. And it's always often like pretty consistent points unless you just get inter and die, but otherwise it's gonna be quite consistent. But the cons are that you are gonna be on blue Evo most of the time, meaning that edge teams that are inting are gonna be able to like maybe be able to kill you if they get a chance, because they're probably gonna be on purple after getting so much Evo. And you know, the pros and cons of edge is basically the same thing. You have purple armor, so therefore you can kill off the teams, but you're not in zone, so it's a bit harder to get into a good position.
Teams that are playing more of a zone playstyle will usually play more passive characters like Watson or Caustic or other controller characters, and teams that play more of an edge playstyle will play more aggressive characters like Seer, Bangalore or Mad Maggie.
Worth mentioning that there are other like styles of playing as well. For example, recently we had a lot of people playing what's called baby comp, and that consists of playing Gibby and Newcastle and for the most time Valk, and if Valk gets banned they're maybe gonna pick up like Pathfinder. And this comp right now at least usually doesn't get played like the first few matches, but further in to the tournament or scrims or whatever, they were playing this comp. And this comp works since you're playing it like edge in the way that you're going around, you're not going to zone. You're gonna go and grab a lot of Evo, However, your comp is not designed to fight, it's simply made up to survive. So therefore, while you're grabbing Evo, you're not gonna be looking to fight at all. You're just gonna get purple armor, especially for the purple Valkult, and then, towards the late game, you Valkult in, you Newcastle wall, you have so much shields, you can basically survive most situations, and Newcastle can rest if someone gets knocked. And then when you need to move again, you just Valkult, and you repeat this process, and that's a very consistent comp that doesn't really fit into either Edge or Zone. It's also worth mentioning that the meta is very different from Ranked. For example, Crypto and Watson are played a lot in comp, but they're basically never seen in Ranked. And that's basically just because of the point system and because the teams are a lot more coordinated. Now that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it. Maybe it's a bit simplified, but I hope you still learned something, and I hope we meet again. Goodbye.